Well, greetings. Thank you for joining us on this broadcast brought to you by Fifth Dimension. So we have how do you pronounce that? Manly P. Hall. He's a cult. I wouldn't call him an occultist. He's a lecturer. He's kind of like David Icke of his time. Uh, he's the reason why we have the knowledge that we do about a portion of it about metaphysics, because he traveled the world. He gathered bought all these books, and put them into one book. And I'm going to be going into, in due time, little by little, where I feel I need to add to or whatever it might be. So yeah, expect things to shift a little bit in a good way, different. Get away from succubus and drug addict stuff. Succubus is where I found that actually. So I did research into succubus a little bit more, and then I found that. So you can find Manly P. Hall's lectures on YouTube also, and his book is free also. You can find its links online somewhere. And also, this is gonna be a different one. And the real Dave Chappelle. I'd probably be more of a conscious connection. We'll see how that goes. Because I don't think the one that's here is a real one at all. I mean, yeah, it might look like him. I don't. He doesn't really sound like him. I know people get older and everything, but when you look at the old Chappelle and you look at the new Chappelle, this is not something that you lose. With Eddie Murphy's a different story. Eddie Murphy feels like that's Eddie Murphy, just older, different tone, just different tone. You change it to get older, of course. But Chappelle is a whole nother. That fire is nowhere near the same. So, of course, getting anybody to believe it doesn't matter. But I don't feel like it's him at all. Just looks aren't everything. Let's put it on a metaphysical level. That's far from him. That's like a 20th. That's like the version somebody throw out and just throw in his body, basically. The less interesting version. Let's put it that way. Have a nice black helicopter flying around. Keep you entertained during tonight's broadcast. Alright, for those who are new to all this, I'm Talk.com. Our private sessions, the 5th of July, where I'm at right now. And I'll start answering again on Thursday. Learn how to channel. Did I say July or June? I don't know. Whatever. That black helicopter told me a different month. Anyway, June 15th, the 5th. Either way. Alright, I have Google Hangout, Zoom, and channeling by phone. Oh yes, this June 5th is where I'm at right now. Same situation here. Every channelers and healers I do recommend social network. Also, some of the links I was talking about is oh, there you go. Cool. Yeah, the secret teachings. Yeah. So this is Manly PL. Yeah, something cool here too. There's a lot of new stuff here, so I definitely recommend checking that out. You don't have to be logged in if you don't want to be. So with the whole succubus, I did a video for tomorrow. I didn't go into super detail on that, so kind of going backwards, but either way. So what I got was Windsor Castle, pulling in energies from lower astral. It looks like it's from lower astral. When you look at old architecture, when you look at it from that point of view, we're all warning from the lower vibrations and, the lovely royalty we have here, if you want to call it that. That's a little bit more sparkly, but even that's manipulated. But either way, that looks nice and manipulated. Jeez, just the windows there. Yikes. Look at her. She doesn't. I wonder where her car is right now. So, and that was like a portal. So, okay, I can't take this anymore. So, when you look at the architectures of, the old world, of course they have I'm gonna just St. Patrick's. I don't think I showed this. I can't remember everything I've done. Was St. Patrick's Cathedral? You look at it real quick. Portal energy, no doubt about it. This is in New York City, I believe. I mean, what does that look like? Does that look like just like nice and comfortable? You want to just no. It's not even in there. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right. It's a different one. Kind of looks so spooky. So it's like hell almost. Yeah, I think I did something like this here, but I can't remember. It's like crappy. Oh no, was that in? It's in a cartoon. So yeah, it's not exactly the most loving energy. This is now there's another thing. The message. It's funny the messages you get connected to a succubus energy. So when you get energy attacks, they sometimes give you information. So I was thinking, look up police stations in Europe, and this is Copenhagen police headquarters. What the hell does that look like? Obviously a portal. I don't think it's all bad, but even the building itself looks almost like a pentagon in some regard. Not a full pentagon, but it looks like a pyramid actually. If just the nose is cut off. With the circle, it just has like esoteric energies. It's pulling in something. Now can't imagine Copenhagen. A whole lot is happening there, but then again, maybe there is something happening there. Definitely has Illuminati energies for sure. So that's one of their hangouts, you can say, where they need to be protected. I mean, to have a building like this just for the hell of it. Let's see if there's any. That's inside. It's just creepy. Yeah, it just sounds like you're running the middle of a police station, right? Far from it. Yeah, jeez. So a little bit of everything. I mean, it's not all bad, but to have that circle there is definitely a portal. It's calling in something. Yeah. So, what are they up to? Kind of love it. Okay. About that. Okay, Manly P. Hall. We're going to some of. I guess I'll channel him to a certain degree, but we'll see where we get with that. Probably a more conscious connection. He was able to bring in different world realities. Yeah, he came here to put things together for the future. Even for now, he wasn't expecting his direction in life, but he found it so fascinating of the occult. And the more he did, the more he learned about himself. He was guided through different angel energies, of course, and protected. And I believe that was during the time of the Great Depression also, when he was finding a lot of that stuff, which is a perfect time for it. When people are letting things go, they had no use for him anymore, or didn't understand it to begin with. So it makes sense. It was all about building the future, and that's what what I'm doing, other people are doing, building for the future. You might not see the future right now. You might just see shit. It's not hard to see that. But everybody that wants something different, a better reality, yeah, we are heading towards it, definitely. Slowly. Number one word out there is slow, patience, and you concentrate on yourself. You want information from about the universe, your reality. You want to dissect this reality. Be careful what you wish for. Are you ready for it? Manly P. Hall is also a magician of sorts. Not your traditional magician, but definitely a magician of the arts, as many are, as they become more aware of all of these, what's going on here. It's also tapping into a lot of Atlantean energies, of course. A lot of hidden knowledge is there's plenty more, but it's going to have to be channeled. It's technically a lot of that was channeled too. It's all in your belief system too. What do you want to believe in? That's another thing too about. I believe this has been mentioned, but it's like the planets. You have Pluto, Mars, Venus. All those are used to be beings on this world at one time. Actual physical, well, demigod type of beings. But either way, they were. I mean, yeah, through the through Greek mythology and Roman mythology, and there were actual alien beings here. But those worlds were definitely, you know, from those beings. Those beings are here, and then, they went back to their planet, or however you want to look at it. That's a major influence when you think about it. That's not just something that's no big deal. Of course, there is a civilization that has to do with the planets too. Of course, what you want to believe or what you see out in space is up to you. But seeing how it's knowledge in our geography, our universe geography, take it for whatever you want, it still plays a big deal. It's an astrology, it has some kind of, obviously there's much more going on out there, but, it's the more that you realize, we have to break out of third dimension somehow, work with what you got. Yeah. Jeez, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, because we're going to start, over time dissect. Jeez, everyone don't want me to talk, do they? Yeah, it's just start dissecting reality. You start to see the truths of it. Just like people are going on YouTube dissecting everything, going through the movies, looking at this shot, looking at that, going through history, going through, where the word apple came from, or whatever you want to call it. They're dissecting everything. More of the metaphysics is going to go into that over time. You'll get different various versions of it. Copenhagen is a main Illuminati. It's a major Illuminati area, basically. And basically, from what I got from that, they just want to be protected. So a lot of the police force, the origins of it were there. At least it's, how it's being run. A lot of it was done there for Europe, but Copenhagen plays a big role. I don't know the whole history of it, who the hell does, but there's some kind of origins of how they want things to be done was originated there. Let's put it that way. For to have an infrastructure like that, it just has. Either way, it plays a big role. It has a lot of spiritual connections, such as Hamlet. Shakespeare has connections there. I don't think it was there physically, but either way, he still wrote about it. He was very connected to the metaphysical world too, to a certain degree. He messed with the stars, and he had some idea of it. Let's put it that way. That's why it's remembered, because he went by the rules of the route. He was chosen also. He's kind of like a wordsmith, magician wordsmith. We'll get that. It's and a programmer of his time. He was like the modern day soap opera, basically. Anyway, nobody cares about that. Dave Chappelle. To dive into that a little bit. Alright, well, let's see what we can do with that. Let's see here. Yeah, he was a modern day philosopher. Coming in as black made more sense. He can get away with a lot more. I didn't really want to be white anyway. He wasn't your typical black guy either. He wasn't typical anything. He was a Greek philosopher of his past. Of course, he didn't last very long. That's the whole thing about white people. It's like, screw them. It's like, But he was a philosopher of his time in the past. He's been Egyptian time period. He was always a smart ass throughout previous incarnations. Never really a slave. He's just always found a way to get out of certain situations, like being a slave. And if he was a slave, he was a snarky one. And he's not going into details of that. The David Chappelle you see in this reality is a false version, a cut down version that society needed more than him. Society did not want to hear the full truth of it, but also this is kind of like a disclosure that things aren't what they seem to be. So you have this half-baked version of Dave Chappelle, and the real version is far away. Pretty much the original Dave Chappelle had enough of this reality. Of course, I've talked about this here and there in the past, but he's here again. He's going to bring in alien energy. Basically, people to cool out, to chill out. Many are just kind of stuck on themselves, which in the spiritual sense, because they feel like they know everything. You're not going to know everything. You just never will. Your secret space program is going to break free eventually. As others are, the smoke coming out of some of the people's asses that are part of the, talk about secret space program all the time. Eventually, they won't be taken too much seriously. For right now, they are. It's kind of like they almost do like a hypnosis, but it's also getting you prepared for what's to come. So, those that talk about secret space program all the time. You believe it or not, it doesn't really matter. It's just that you're getting used to the idea of something like that existing. Maybe it's a fairy tale, maybe it's a mythology. It's just getting you ready for the real truth. As you're seeing it being built in your backyard, spaceships and cars, you'd have to find some way to bring some of that sci-fi into your reality. The secret space program, this mythology is kind of keeping you more 10, 20 years in the future, 30 or more, to get you used to. So when you see technologies talking about space and all that, you can go further, you can do more. And that was all done on purpose. So you say the government's part of that too. They want this information because they want to get people mentally prepared for what's coming. And so you just say, oh no, spaceship, and have a heart attack and die or something like that. So you just get an idea. The mythology is just psychosis. It's just mentally preparing. There's much more to it than that, but and some people need entertainment, and you need something a little bit different. And Hollywood's slow as hell doing anything these days, and a lot of their characters kind of suck. So as they give you kind of infrastructure of this secret space program, the mythology of it, and you add your own characters, your own ideas, so you put yourself in there, whatever it might be. Nature is going to be taken more seriously as humans get more involved with it, but right now climate change is just angry about it, because some of these people used to be trees. Some people are crying about a tree. They cry. Climate change. They used to be a tree. They used to be a rock, and now they're bitching about it. So. Well, they're connected in Mother Nature to different versions of Mother Nature, but also enjoying being a human too. It's like, now I'm a human, and now you're going to destroy my planet. What the hell? I'm just getting used to having cable. So there's just another way of looking at this. There's a million different ways of looking at this world, and we're just scratching the surface of it. Now with Chappelle, no, he's not. He's glad he's not part of this reality anymore. He kind of is. His history. He did everything he had to do for the short length of time. That was enough. It's almost like he died at 30, technically. So they're keeping some breath of him alive, but also there's a disclosure there. So some people didn't want him to leave, so he kind of left some version of him here that most aren't going to do. But for him, humanity's kind of gets stuck on certain celebrities and gives them a reason to live, so it kind of makes sense for the time. But the real one most likely won't come through mostly channeled messages. He's just not really that interested in really re-entering. There's a lot of racism here. A lot of it's just, most of it's manipulated for agendas. Rich people do it, poor people do it, everybody does it, everybody has a reason for it. They're not going to say why. As you open up your Kundalini energies, third eye and everything. You'll start to see it a bit more clear when the time's right. Yeah, sometimes you get knowledge that you get too soon that you don't. It's like you've been racist, but then you open up your third eye and say, you've been lying this whole time. Yeah, I've been racist. So, there's a lot of that going on. So, like I said, there's agendas, not everything, but there's a lot of agendas that are setting the trends. Your media does it all the time. The media creates racism in their own way. They build up all kinds of. Yeah, they're building. Yeah, you're wondering about your big brother. Of course, it's already set up. Alien energies. Let's see. Well, obviously they're here. Humans are just getting used to seeing their next door neighbors. The channel messages. You see their movies. You see all their stuff. So they're kind of showing their marks here. And it will become part of regular culture, but humans are still part of the. A lot of humans that are adults still think they're kids. Not all, but quite a few. They watch the footballs and all that. They get comfortable. They get the job and they go back into kid mode. Then they get comfortable and they go back to being a teenager. They act like a teenager. Some of them do. Of course, some of you people that just want to work. Those are the old people. But also, that's your hobby too. It's also your escape from reality. There's nothing wrong with that. But many of those are into the entertainment world. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be a teenager in reality. You do grown-up stuff and you go back to teenager mode, be entertained. And and when you do that, though, you connect to the old ways of grandpa, grandma, mom, how they all thought. And aliens wasn't part of it. Angels weren't part of it. Some, yes, but they're like a small percent. It's that mindset. It's like you're laying back into the garden of bullshit, basically. So yeah, people need to see an alien physically, but well, it is technically here. Just that's on how you look at it. Basically, humans have to get over themselves. Not yet. Not this year. Things are going to happen. A transition from this year to the next. This year is a lot of truths are going to be coming in. Slowly, will people believe it? No. Alien truths will slowly tap in, but more humans become more alien. They recognize that more. Won't be taken seriously, no. But that wave's getting stronger and stronger. There's no way of stopping. Basically, it's a human connecting more to the alien. That's what you gotta get used to. As for me, I'm not doing shit. I'm just watching your world and laughing my ass off every day. I got a whole bunch of jokes here. Your world will be bust out. I'll bring in what I feel like it. Other people will tap into my energies and bring in my sense of humor. But right now, I'm just watching, just having a good time. Not necessarily need to be part of your world anymore, because it's not really. I have a lot I can add, but do people want to hear it? Yes, but do they really want to hear it? Because I don't think I'll have a job if I kept talking. I had to tone it down. As you can see, the washed up version of me is out there right now. Toned down, half it entertaining, not even as entertaining. It's just not the same stuff. So the real me will be hidden for the most part. I'll pop in here and there. Let's put it that way. People believe it or not, it's another story. Who gives a fuck? Racism here, yes, is fake. It's like another way of having conversation. People are racist because they need something to bitch about. That's what it comes down to. They can get over it, but what the hell for? They got no reason to. Some do, but most don't. Most enjoy that racism energy. Which is why change it? All their friends like them being racist. Why change? If you're black, white, whatever race you are, people just seem to enjoy it. It's their form of entertainment. That might be fucked up. Well, you humans are pretty fucked up anyway. Just, yeah, humanity was always taking itself too seriously, but that will not change anytime soon. Alright, that's a glimpse of it. Alright, that's all. Alright, that was some of Chappelle, just a little bit. That was funny. Okay, we'll do Manly P. Hall too while we're here. I wasn't expecting any of that. I wasn't expecting to go into that. Alright, 1 second. Greetings. I was brought to your earth to mend some fences. A lot was not done. A lot of souls here did not complete their lives. So I came here as a task to bring in that completion. Knowledge. What was lost? Lost knowledge. I knew exactly where to look for it. Not always, but I always found a way of finding your metaphysical knowledge. As I didn't believe all of it. I didn't understand it at the time. But more I read the texts of the past, Aristotle, much of them, I learned that I was part of the past too. Naive, but not anymore. Now, is there information that people aren't ready to hear? It doesn't matter. Say it anyway. Your spirit world will say it anyway. It's just a lot of them are preparing for what's to come, but they feel like there's enough here, enough awaken, where they'll put it out anyway if people believe it or not, because there's much more. That, yes, it'd be amount of knowledge where your planet will truly start to open itself up. Words on text through books and verbiage, a lot of it on the text will be actually stronger, because just when you say something, just they both work in unison. They both have their own directions, but text has a way of sometimes, depending on the words of what is said, truly bleeds into the person differently, where it's actually stronger for some. It doesn't matter. What matters is that your earth is understanding its astral earth, its astral self. Those of you that are prepared for it, because your Federal Reserve is not as strong as it acts like it is, as they are, yes, afraid of you. They're afraid of you understanding their symbology beyond of what you've already heard. Yes, there are bird beings connected to your planet. There are several alien beings, mostly the bird, that truly feels that humans are a threat to the universe. At least you're human. There's much more that has not been said about your past. But humanity was lost for the sake of being lost. Why not? Why live in a world where everything makes sense instead of living in a place where nothing makes sense? World of chaos, a hell. It can be hell. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes this is a witch's brew, whereas the soul grows even stronger. A world that makes no sense. It is a broken planet in some ways compared to others. It is a world of no road direct. Your roads sometimes go nowhere. Sometimes they go somewhere. They're all bumpy. It shows that your world broke away from the rules of the universe. The universe, it even went further beyond your universe. The universe was already kind of a renegade. But your planet took it to the next level. Not to say that it is better, but it is more, it found a way of being darker than other planets and outbeat much of your reptilian worlds, Archon worlds. It brought in a lot of beings here that were not even meant for your universe. There are universes that are much darker but better organized. Your planet, your universe and planet is not that organized at all, as some of you realize. It is enough to function, but it can be more. If it was more organized, we would not be having this conversation. You would know where your world is going. You would have a more understanding of your future. Some of you have an idea, but not clear. It's not supposed to be clear. The first thing that happened in your world when it became disorganized, disconnected from the outside universe, your future got fogged up or shut down, at least for you to see. The human got blocked from it. That doesn't mean you don't see it. You see versions of it. You see, it's like looking through, you see a little bit, a small hole, but, you might see something, but most of the part is blocked off. That's not going to be forever. You're putting the pieces of your reality back together again. Now, it's the will of the soul. Whereas many of you run into blockages. That does not mean the blockages will last there forever. A lot of those blockages is your humanity is scared of it, but you're not. But there are ways of getting what you need for your healing. A lot of it's inner healing, mental healing at this time. Some of you feel like on a brink of destruction on your own. We find there's something there that comes in just to keep you going. And that will continue to occur. Some of you need that kind of push into the unknown to really get you going, to open yourself up. That's why some of you feel like on the brink of bankruptcy or whatever it might be. Spirituality is not always meant to be brought in, but some of you need a jolt to find it. Someone, yes, a succubus to come in and grab onto you. Or incubus, why not? To really rattle your chain, put you into a whole new direction. To find yourself, find others, and because you get tired of this world and you find it's like, now I'm really tired of this world. And put your new focus onto something else. Many of you are waiting, but it seems that, you are preparing. I won't call it waiting. It is more preparation. Preparing of what's to come. Knowing about your universe, you might sometimes feel like you know too much. But there's going to be downloads to see who is interested and who is not about your world that is around you. Because many of you can manifest yourself on another planet easily. You can channel it, but also do it astrally. You're bringing those worlds and their knowledge here. How do you think you get your alien knowledge as it is? Yes, you're connected to those alien beings, but also you already have that alien knowledge within you. They're unlocking it. You can channel them, they unlock it. What is needed? Some, yes, which are on dinner on another planet at this time. Or with their families. We'll realize this world is necessary because some of those worlds will not exist if it wasn't for this place. This world created a lot of worlds. That's not mentioned. This world has invented realities at a faster scale than most planets. And this universe is like, it's a guilty pleasure, but not an easy place. Because knowledge is not always easy to... Yes, you want knowledge, as many of you do, but it's not easy to get to. It's easy to get general knowledge, but knowledge to really change things takes, yes, pain. It doesn't have to be seen like that, but it's not going to be easy to reach. So what your life's purpose here is to find your purpose, whatever you call that, which if it's pain to right now, it is definitely worth it. Because why put all this blockages around you? There must be some reason for it. Why not life be easy and everything just comes to you as you want it? But what do you learn there? When everything is one door closed, that door closes, this door closes. Then you have to face yourself. What am I doing wrong? Who am I? What's going on here? Why am I on this planet again? You're asking questions you would not have asked before if those doors are open. You just keep coasting, but not really knowing yourself. Now when everything gets shut, blockages everywhere. Now you're centering to who you are. You're a magician. You might have been a black magician in previous incarnations. You're tapping into that, but also bringing in a light. Some of you have been villains in your previous incarnation. Now you're here to be the good guy or the neutral guy. Either way, you're not here to cause mischief anymore. You're here to bring a stronger light than you've ever had before. Here to be, yes, the hero instead of the villain. The villain must have been fun for many, and yes, it was. But being that hero is not as easy as it sounds. Hollywood makes it look nice, sort of, but it's been Hollywood. There's not going to be people wanting your signature. Not maybe people that even like you. When you're here to make change, opposition is going to be everywhere. That doesn't mean it's bad change. It's change that is here to uplift, and many say they want change, but do they really mean it? Because change is, yes, very difficult to bring it, as many of you know. When is it going to occur? It's happening now. It's just, what is it within you that you need to see? What keys do you carry? What knowledge can you bring in? Why is this world as slow as it is to awaken? It's not because you haven't figured yourselves out. It's like, focus on you, which is not so easy. What kind of magician are you? Or who are you? What kind of magic person, sorcerer are you? Have you shut down worlds like this? Have you been the one, the gatekeeper of a planet? Similar to this, when the humans wanted knowledge, and said no. And now you're living it again. So we gave you knowledge and you abused all of it, so we shut everything down. Some of you have been in places like that. This world is an awakening of the soul. This year is different. Yes, because the universe is aligning to this planet a lot differently than it did before. As it always does, but this year is very different. It is awakening with doorways that have been shut, but it's inward if you wish to find it. Some of you might see yourself as a dragon person. Whatever it might be, you need to bring into this reality. Dragon energy is very powerful. It is dragon's blood, it's dragon essence. It is unknown to your earth. It is here as a protector. Many of you are protectors and aren't realizing it. That's why you're going through the war that you're going through. Because you're protecting the earth from being destroyed. That's why some of you are going through hell right now. So, this is... Hopefully that sounded alright.